That's
No, I'm
probably
kidding.
my cue.
I didn't, everybody can jump in, anybody can.
No, that's fine. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Terry Hill. I'm your county commissioner here in District 6.
And vice chair.
And vice chair. Thank you very much. Needless to say, I've been asked about why I made the vote that I did, along with 4 other Republicans made the same vote that I did. The current former chair that we had, Richie Wheeler, I count him as a friend. He did an outstanding job. I've got nothing but praises to say for him. Most people don't know that he did send a letter to county commissioners back in May stating that he had taken a full-time job in Knox County government and was not going to be seeking the chair again in September. Did anybody know that?
Nope.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't seeking it, but that you guys came and spoke out to him to like run again, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he absolutely was persuaded to do that. Yes. And initially, I was excited about it too. I did hear at that time that Courtney Durant had put her name out there too, so I make no bones about that at all. And this part is just me. This is how I feel, the way that I felt about it all. I felt like there was probably some significant arm twisting going on because Richie was an outstanding chair and he did do a great job and people did want to see him again. I also know that the job of chair is a huge time commitment. It requires about twice the time being a chair as it does being a regular commissioner. So anybody that goes into that cannot take it lightly and needs to really be able to commit the time and the resources to do this. And this was kind of the dilemma that I felt like I was looking at. I had been approached myself to run for chair. I was very flattered about that. I'm not saying not never, but I did need to say not now for a lot of reasons. And the biggest one being the extensive time commitment that it takes. And I just knew in my heart this wasn't my year. So, in the meantime, these last 2 years I have served with Courtney Durant. I know she's got a Democrat, a big D by her name, but I will tell you she is one of the most energetic, dynamic, really kind people that has ever served on the commission. And the more I saw her drive and her energy that she brought to it, the more I was really just persuaded that maybe this was a good pick, a good candidate to run county commission.
Now, did she
Now-
work for the mayor, county mayor?
She did. She worked for Lynn this summer, about 2.5, 3 months. Now, let me tell you, I am a lifelong Republican. I did not do that with a great deal of heartburn thinking about it. It was not an easy decision for me. But I looked back at the collective group of commission. In the end, we are still a 90 majority. In the end, we still hold a supermajority.
But doesn't the
In
commissioner
the
set
end,
the
I'll
agenda?
give you, yes, I'll get to that. In the end, also, it is one commissioner, one vote. So even though there is that authority there in being the leader of the group, that person has no more authority than, or weight than any of the rest of us do in this. And the commission agenda can be overridden on any item by a 2/3 majority. So in the end, we didn't even lose that. So for those reasons, I thought this might be a better fit than traditionally we might think. And that's just pretty much the start and finish of it. I know there was a lot made about we are now a female majority commission. I can tell you with all honesty, that isn't something we saw. That isn't something we went out and looked for and said, oh, this has to happen. But it did happen. And as I said publicly, and I mean, it's been in print. We have traditionally been male-dominated in Knox County government. We certainly have some fine women that have risen to the top. We've got one of them here speaking to us tonight that's been around many, many years and certainly paid her dues. Charm Allen is another one. So I'm not saying it's exclusive, but overall, we all know that it has been predominantly male-dominated. I just thought, well, then it's okay. Maybe it's time. So that, in a nutshell, was why I made that vote. Did I know that I was going to catch some flack for it? Yes, I did. My hope is that most of you in here, most all of you in here have known me for years and years. I didn't just show up yesterday. I didn't just show up 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I decided to run for county commission. I have been with you. I have been with this community for years. So I'm just very hopeful that my character, that my purpose, that my intent in all this as seen purely as what it was. There's no backdoor power play in this. There's nothing behind the scenes going on that other people don't know about. So in a nutshell, that's where I am. So if anybody's got questions, yes, sir.
You don't hear about
I have a question.
Sure, Wes.
How long will she serve? Is it just a 1-year term as the chairman? Okay, so it's, okay.
It's a 1-year term, yeah. Chair and vice chair turn over every year. I was nominated as vice chair. I'm glad to accept it. If she's not a member there, I will stand in the seat. And
So-
we'll represent you well.
Is she second in charge? Is that how it works? So
No.
if Mayor Jacobs drops dead, Courtney's the mayor?
No,
No,
that's not how
no,
it's
that's
written.
not true.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's not about.
It's majority,
Is
it's
that right? Because
majority,
I actually talked to the mayor about that. I
it's
did actually.
majority commission. We've already checked with the charter. It's majority commission. The Republicans are still in the majority. So that is how that's gonna go.
Okay. So there's some misinformation out there.
That was misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, all weekend there's been misinformation. So it's probably better to always come to the source too, because there's been a whole lot of humble bubba going on. And we've heard it, but we don't actually get asked personally. I mean, I think that's why I was here with Terry tonight, because I wanted everybody to know that this is a united thing, and if you want to ask questions, we're here to do it. I'm not gonna apologize for my vote. I don't think Terry's gonna apologize for her vote.
Well, maybe we need to apologize for our vote.
Well, and you certainly will have the opportunity to do that at your next election.
You know, right now, and I started as a state rights Democrat. I don't know if you know what a good old state rights Democrat was. But the Democrats have went so far over. Peter Ruttman, a great evangelist, said that the Democratic Party used to be the party of blood, sweat, and tears. Now it's the party of drugs, sex, and queens. And these people that for Biden and all, they're totally against us. I go pay $5 a gallon cause Democrats. They cut off our oil cause Democrats. I'm a veteran. The military is weak now because of Democrats. And I'm so sick of them, and this bunch here that supports that bunch don't support me. And then when you all give them all that there on our side, then that makes us weak.
Well, I would like to add a little perspective to this. I've been active since 1984. I voted in every Republican election since 1984. It's not an unprecedented action what the commission took. Many of us worked for many, many years with the Democrats holding us down in Nashville. We had 2 members in the state Senate that we were prepared for Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey to become our Lieutenant Governor, and we had 2 Republicans that voted
Are you talking
for
about
where.
Williams and Tim
Donnie, I'll let you talk. We had 2 senators that voted for NAFI. And that was Mike Williams from Union County, and he withdrew and became an independent, and the other one was State Senator Tim Burchett. 2 years later, we were prepared to take the State House with Jason Mumpower as Speaker of the House, and we only had 1 state rep that was a majority, and Kent Williams went with all the Democrats and became Speaker of the House for 2 years. Now, Senator Burchett said to the Knoxville News Sentinel that he supported NAFI because NAFI came and had a fundraiser at Club LeConte. Did Courtney Durrett have a fundraiser for you, Terry?
No, for me, she certainly did.
Gina, did Courtney Durrett have a fundraiser for you?
Well, I appreciate what you want to say.
Well, you know, we all make mistakes. And we all need to get on our knees and pray for Jesus to forgive us, because it's not us to forgive you, it's for Jesus to do it. You know, and I believe it, and I've known you for a long time. I know your family. I've supported your family, and I have no ill will towards you, okay? But it does, in this time, you know, it does when you make those mistakes, and that was a serious mistake. And maybe it's because that you're all females instead of the philosophies of Democrats and Republicans. I mean, would you vote Gloria Johnson, the chairman, if you did something new? Look at it. Would you vote Gloria Johnson?
Glory wasn't the candidate.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying she's a good state rights Democrat. Well,
I love you.
Well, I love
Just so
you.
you know, I'm confident in my salvation.
Well, then, when I got my outhouse in heaven, you can come to visit. Because me being as wicked as I am, I'm not gonna have a mansion.
Here's the deal. Sometimes choices look one way on the outside. I mean, I just saw today in the newspaper that the gentleman who wrote Joe Biden's speech where he looks like Hitler slamming his fist just got appointed to be on this new civics board at the University of Tennessee. Huh? By Randy Boyd. Yeah, he's supposed to be quite an author, but he helped write the speech that Joe Biden gave that had awful lot of symbolism of looking something like out of the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. I mean, you know, having the double fist pounding on the lectern was, I don't know if someone coached him to do that or not, but not a good sign. You know, and he's basically supposed to be on a civics board teaching how we need to get back to. I mean, I will tell you guys, when I first got in the House, it was an 80-20 with Democrats. We could work together. I'm sure Terry's had to work with Courtney Durant on other issues besides who's going to be chair. Sometimes Democrats are on your side, sometimes they're not. But we used to be able to work together, and now it's become so visceral that if you're not 100% in my camp, you're the problem. And we can't work a government like that. That's one of the reasons I got out of the State House, because it became so unbearable. Because, you know, Democrats are taking pot shots at us, and if the Democrats had a good bill, we would just steal it from them, rewrite it as a Republican bill, and then take credit for it and kill their bill. That's not how government's supposed to work. But we've allowed this if you ain't 100% Republican, you're the problem. If you're not 100% Democrat, you're the problem. That's the problem.
Well, and 2 years ago, Larson J. became chairman with the votes of he, 2 Republicans, and the 2 Democrats.
Right.
This year, Courtney Durrett, the Democrat, became the chair with 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes we make choices. I don't know why Randy Boyd thought this gentleman would be a great person for civics. I don't know, you know. But when you're basically writing a speech that, you know, in Tennessee that 74% of the people voted for President Trump, but you're a moron if you did. I don't see where that's going to help the civics cause particularly in improving our way of getting, you know, people to participate. But, so he may be a short-lived board member, who knows? Maybe Courtney will be a short-lived county commissioner, who knows? I mean, but at this point, this is what we have, and for a year, we have to put up with it. And I'm sure everybody's gonna be watching everything Courtney does, I'm pretty sure. you
What
guys-
district is she out of?
District Two.
Where is it?
You know, Michelle Carringer.
Fountain City, that area.
Fountain City, Shenandoah.
However, it was redistricted.
Oh, that's
after
right. That's
Michelle.
right.
It wasn't what Michelle was in, because it was different.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm not.
She's more of a
real
Democrat,
for
Courtney's in
this,
more of a Democrat district than she is a Republican district now, because
I don't know about that. Your daddy lived over there.
that's exactly right. I was raised a Democrat, I can tell you all about it.
But it,
Will sometime.
but it meant something to be a Democrat when you was raised with Big Jim that long.
Well, that's right, and as you get older and you decide what your views are, that's the great thing about it, is you have a choice. You can be a Democrat or you can be a Republican. This is what I chose. You hush, let them go on.
You can shut. I shut him up. You can shut him up.
Sherry, you have about 20 minutes. There you go. So,
I don't want to take her thunder.
Well, I want to ask one question for you.
Yes.
Did y'all not did y'all not look at each one of you and say, do you want to do it? I mean, all y'all are capable, we all vote.
I don't
Yes,
think they can.
Sherry asked Courtney DeRed if she was willing to serve, and she asked Richie Beeler if they were willing to serve. They were both nominated. Those were the only two nominated.
Because I was presiding over the meeting, not personally.
Right.
I cared less.
Right.
And still do.
Right.
All four of y'all are all qualified, surely. I mean, the only heartburn I have about it, he sends the wrong message to the Democrats about this first term. Now, if it was Tank Strickland had been the chairman and we've had McKenzie and everybody, I have a problem with it. But it's his first thing off the bat.
I appreciate that. I do.
That's the perception I see. And the Democrats think they've won the world now.
Well,
They're not
they can
going to.
prove.
Just show them that they
We know
did.
they're not going to. We know they're
And
not
they
going to.
haven't.
But they just keep, they just keep.
Well, we
Yeah.
are showing. We have. We continue to show. It only takes one vote to win that election.
So you
You know.
tell me you're the only one that stepped up? Kim, Gina? I know Gina's got guts enough to do it.
Well, I would think the freshmen.
We're
wouldn't
not gonna
step
do,
up.
I mean, the first day, we're not gonna take over commission chair.
No.
The three of us. I mean, that's not,
And that really is.
And if Terry-
Most
That leaves
people
it on you.
feel like
That leaves it on you.
yeah, it does. And listen, I'm a big girl. I can make it,
I mean, there's 6 females, but 2 of them are Democrats.
I understand that,
So,
but the four
and
of
3 of
ours
them
are
are
not
freshmen,
Democrats.
so.
Yeah, but 3 of our 4 were their first day, their first vote.
I understand that.
But what about the Mells? Were there no other Mel Republicans that we could have?
Well, Larson's already been there, Richie said no, and then who was the other one?
Ward, Schoonmaker, and Daly.
Schoonmaker.
what I can tell you with certainty, absolute certainty, is that other than what I explained to you about Richie, I had no other male, really, or female, other than Courtney, now that I'm thinking about it, on county commission, come to me or send a messenger to me saying, hey, I really want this. No one.
Because the Sunshine Law prohibits you from doing that.
Well, and we know you send a messenger kind of thing. I mean, nobody in here is not aware of that, right? Judges, I know.
Well, I'm just saying that the perception on the first.
But the truth is, if another
If nobody wants to serve, nobody
one
wants to.
would have stepped up, it may have been a different situation. But, I'm happy, I'll hang around after the meeting and talk to y'all as long as we need to, but Sherry actually is our program tonight, so, but I won't run off, I promise, I'll stand here and take it. So, thank you for giving me a chance to talk about it. And thank you, because I want to tell you, probably 98% of the people that contacted me, they did give me, it wasn't ugly, it wasn't hateful, it was just please explain why. So, thank you all for giving me that chance to, thank you.